Hello everyone and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. Today we are building an autumn-inspired storybook cottage. I know, I'm a little late to the autumn building game here, but I wanted to at least get one autumn-inspired build in this season. Where I live, currently in the upper Midwest of the United States, we're kind of on the tail end of autumn, so this is basically my farewell fall, adios autumn speed build. We have a little bit of color that's still hanging on the trees, which is really nice, but you know, that's only a matter of time before that's all gone. The Canadian geese are all migrating south. That's always so sad to see them go. Some of them stay the whole winter, the crazy ones, but you know, the smart ones, they all go south. And then one good thing about this time of year for me is the great horned owls start to get a little bit more active, and I was actually able to hear a couple of them calling each other last night, so that was really cool. Flynn might not like that so much, but I love owls, and if you couldn't already tell, I am a bird lover. So yeah, just one of the things that I actually look forward to in the colder seasons. Our autumn here has been so strange. We had a really late start. Usually the trees start losing their leaves a lot earlier than they did this year, and I'm okay with that. It was a little warmer than usual, and even today it's in the 60s, which is crazy. It's the middle of November and it's that warm. I don't even feel like this has ever happened before. I'm not complaining at all. This is probably gonna be our last really nice day, but we've also had our first major snowfall like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think we got about 3 inches of snow. It took a little while to melt. I seriously thought it was going to be gone within like 12 hours, but it stayed cold for a while, so we had it around for a couple days. But yeah, that was really strange because most of the trees still had like all their leaves on still, and then there was a bunch of snow outside. Like, it was weird. So yeah, this season's been kind of crazy. I'm hoping for a slightly warmer winter. We'll see. I don't like the cold, so any days that we get like above average and a little bit warmer, I'm happy with that. Anyways though, this cottage is also a tiny house. So if you have tiny living, this is a tier 3 small home. So you'll get the benefits of that tiny home, which is just really fun. It is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom cottage. It's ideal for up to 2 Sims. And I do have to say, even though this is an autumn inspired build, this place is gonna look great in all the seasons. The lot, the house, the interior design of the house, everything is very like autumn subtle. On the exterior, I use like a lot of maple trees. We use some birch. So in autumn, in the Sims, you're gonna have all those really nice colors. I use that nice warm brick on the exterior, so that's gonna look really nice against the trees. But as you go through spring and summer in the Sims, you're gonna have a lot of greenery. And then on the inside, I used just like hints and pops of red and orange, so you got that nice warm feeling, but nothing is like overdone, if that makes sense. So it's not gonna like stick out like a sore thumb in other seasons. And I've done builds like that before where it's like specifically for one season, but the problem is with that, as you go through the seasons, it starts looking kind of strange. So this one's gonna look good in all seasons, but I think ideally in fall it looks the best. In the speed build, we are doing the whole exterior first. I don't know, I've been kind of changing how I build, and a lot of times beforehand I do kind of like a mock-up of the house, so I have everything kind of laid out how I want it. So now I haven't really been changing the interior too much like as I go through the building process. So I was usually doing the like whole interior of the house and then doing landscaping after, but now that I'm kind of having the whole like interior set and nothing's gonna change, I figure I should probably just do all the landscaping first, and then you got that nice pretty picture of the exterior, and then you move on to the interior. But on the exterior, we have 2 nice ponds that are connected with a waterfall, and I do have to say, I had to change the waterfall slightly off camera. Originally, you can see that I use the debug waterfalls from Island Living, and I really like those waterfalls, But when I was playtesting this house, I was like, why can my sim not get to the front door? And why is everyone going to the back door? Like, what is going on here? And the sim would not go up the stairs. And I was so confused for the longest time. Finally, I realized it was the debug waterfalls. So for any of you that do building in the game and you like to use those debug options, keep in mind that the island living waterfall has a huge footprint. So even though like the object itself is not that big, the footprint is like 2 to 3 times the size of the actual waterfall, and it was like hanging way over the walkway area. And so my sim was thinking that there was a huge object there and they wouldn't go up the stairs. So just keep that in mind if you build yourself in the game, that waterfall can be tricky and it can cause routing issues in your game. Basically what I had to do was use the waterfall that came with Discover University instead. That one's also, it's decent. It doesn't look as nice as this one. It still looks good. It's slightly like wider, so I had to use Tool and kind of like situate it in there just so it looked nice. Everything worked out in the end. Everything is now rootable and everything's great. I playtest these builds at the very end to make sure that they're actually functional before they go up on the gallery. I might occasionally miss things here and there, but I do check all of the main areas to make sure things work and have my sim walk around the property and make sure that they can cook, make sure they can sleep, make sure they can use the bathroom, make sure they can sit on the couch, all that kind of stuff. Although one weird thing that I also have to mention is I put a fire pit on the patio in the backyard, and I put like those log benches around it. And every single time I go to start the fire, those log benches start on fire, and I cannot figure out what is causing this, because I have also had this problem with like those. If any of you have the outdoor retreat pack, you'll know what I'm talking about. We had these like stone stools that were made to put around the fire pits outside, and those things were catching fire too. So I don't know what's going on. Is it technically because I have mods in my game, or is this just a bug that everyone is experiencing? Have any of you had this issue? Do any of you know how to solve it? Because it is driving me crazy. And then I don't know how many times my Sims started on fire just playtesting this lot and trying to get that to work. I have no idea. I don't know. So if you have that problem, you could delete those benches, because I think that your sim will still like pop out a chair out of their inventory, even though they don't have a chair in their inventory and will sit around the fire. I don't know. But yeah, that's driving me crazy. Another bug I've been having that supposedly I thought they said that they fixed was my sim will go use the bathroom and then they will like walk to the furthest sink possible to wash their hands, even though there is a sink right there and they can access the sink. Because that's, at first I was like, can they not access the sink? But this has been happening to me in like all my builds. It is driving me crazy. And I can't imagine doing gameplay and then, gosh. Yeah, so I don't know why that's happening still. I thought that was fixed, so that's annoying. You may have noticed on the interior here, I use some of the wedding arches from my wedding stories, and I did play test those, and the Sims will still walk through the doorways, but I don't know, to add that little bit of like storybook, fairy tale-esque kind of feeling to this house, I really like that. So we use like a lot of vines on the wall, and as you see, it's not overly done in like autumn inspired colors. We got some green in there too, and everything's just, it'll look good through all the seasons. But we're gonna start to wrap things up, so thank you so much for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give us a like, and if you're not already subscribed, just press that button. It's super easy and free, and we'd really appreciate it. And we'll see you in our next video, everyone. Bye!